Hello, in this resonance theories video, it will be explained how solar geometry was used throughout the eons. In this video you will not get information about who knew it first, but rather of what method was used and how. The method is found in structures of numerous civilizations and it was used to determine the geographical north-south or east-west axis by using simple solar geometry. So after watching this video, you will not wonder much why the third temple at Elimnadra, Malta is astronomically aligned with the rising sun during solstices and equinoxes. You will not wonder why ancient Egyptian cubit rods, that were found in various tombs, range from 52.35 to 52.92 centimeters, 20.61 to 20.83 inches. You will not wonder why the ancient Egyptian pyramids are perfectly aligned to the north-south axis. Also you will not wonder how the zigzags were created in the Eupalinian Aqueduct construction. So let's start by how easy it is to determine the direction of north-south axis in early Paleolithic era. All you need is a piece of wood, small pieces of stone, and at least a day's patience. Placing a wooden pole in the ground vertically can provide a trace of the sun from the shadow of the wooden pole. That shadow is smaller at noon every day. And at equinoxes, it is the only 2 days of the year that the shadow has the same length and the same direction. As you understand, the shadow simply becomes larger at winter and smaller at summer. All that it is needed is to simply mark the length of the shadow with little stones placed at its end on the ground. Wasn't that easy? So let us start by the oldest monument that was mentioned earlier in this video. The Mnajdra Solar Temple at Malta. From the images of the schematics of the temples that is available at Wikipedia, you can easily understand that Mnajdra Solar Temple was aligned with the east-west axis. For some people this east-west alignment might mean something. Also it is proper at this point to remind that several other monuments all over the world are aligned with the north-south axis. Now let's move to Egypt, Giza. All the pyramids are perfectly aligned with the north-south axis. But the best part has to do with the unit of measurement that was used back then for constructions. You need to understand that the cubit rods found in ancient Egyptian tombs were in fact an engineer's measuring tool. So many of those existed. But why did the length of the Royal Egyptian cubit varied? In the Wikipedia article it is mentioned that the small Egyptian cubit of the era was 45 centimeters, 17.71 inches. In various other sources the cubit is mentioned to be 45.7 centimeters, 18 inches, and it will be used in this video. During equinox, at Giza, the solar elevation at noontime, when the shadow is smallest, is exactly 60.33 degrees. Watch this simple animation. The wooden pole is 45.7 centimeters. Given a 60.33 degrees angle, this means that the shadow is 26.03 centimeters. But this also means that the ray of light coming from the sun, that creates a right triangle with the wooden pole and the shadow, is 52.59 centimeters. Let us say that, by coincidence, the length of the ray matches the length of a cubit rod, like the ones found in ancient Egyptian tombs. We should try to move to another location other than Giza and find out if we get anywhere with the logic used so far. Time to move on to the location of the Bent Pyramid and the Red Pyramid created by Sneferu. We can easily view that the sun elevation is 60.52 degrees. With that solar angle, the length of the royal cubit becomes 52.49 centimeters. But let's say this is also a coincidence, something simply created out of luck. Let's go to Saqqara, the step pyramid of Djoser. Sun elevation 60.43 degrees, it produces a Royal Egyptian cubit of 52.54 centimeters. By now you must think it should not be a coincidence and that the length of the Royal Egyptian cubit was based to what else? What they worshipped, the sun. But let's move on to Maiden Pyramid location. Having sun elevation of 60.93 degrees it produces a royal cubit of 52.28 centimeters. Last stop is Pyramid of Amenemhat III at Hawara. You can do the rest of the pyramids on your own, you will find plenty in Google Maps. Having a solar elevation angle of 61.04 degrees, it produces a royal cubit of 52.23 centimeters. No coincidences, only geometry, and solar-based one. Last example, for this video, since it is most certain that if you search several other sites you will find some solar alignment, is the Eupalinian Aqueduct. A look at the path the tunnel has from above makes a person wonder if there is an alignment. There is, but it was done initially, at the beginning of the construction. Since a video about the construction already exists, the explanation is a quick one here. They set an angle of 24 degrees in respect of the north-south axis from both ends. Then they used that angle in the interior to move in sophisticated zigzags, which is better explained in another short video. Before closing, a question for you to think. Let us look once again the temples at Malta. The tip of the arrow points north. The temple seems to follow a semicircular pattern, around the north-south axis. Do you also think this is correct? If yes, then should more temples be found, that create a bow, as the shadow of a wooden pole would? Last but not least, it is a fact that the temple at Malta is located in a place where the sun elevation is 54.51 degrees, at equinoxes. Out of luck perhaps, it is very similar to the initial angle used in the bent pyramid. It appears also that the corridors and shafts and paths inside the pyramids at Egypt to have been created using certain angles. Or is it not like that? Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.